This morning we have an exclusive interview with Nicole Smith. The celebrity model is the star attraction in a Texas courtroom later this week as she fights to claim a share of her late husband's $1.6 billion estate. She married tycoon J. Howard Marshall II when she was 26 and he was 89. He died the following year, and now she's fighting her 63-year-old stepson for the money. ABC's Mike Von Fremd has our story.
Look closely and you may recognize this woman without makeup. She's one of the most famous models of all time. She's now taking acting lessons from the same coach that worked with stars such as Melanie Griffith and Ray Liotta.
Take your time.
She has big dreams of becoming a serious Hollywood actress. She's already notorious, not necessarily for her magazine covers, but certainly for being front page news. It's Nicole Smith. And forget the acting class, she'll be able to buy her own movie studio if things go her way. The supermodel, the stepson, $1.6 billion, and the last will and testament of a 90-year-old oil tycoon. It's all headed to court. Nicole is suing for half of her late husband's estate, and she may walk away with $800 million.
He was my Prince Charming. I'll never find another Howard.
Her late husband was Texas oil tycoon J. Howard Marshall, one of the richest men in Texas. He was in his late 80s when he was wheeled into a Houston strip joint and got his first look at Nicole.
His eyes would just light up, and he'd get this big smile on his face every time he saw me. Just beautiful blue eyes.
At the time, Nicole's legal name was Vicki Smith. She was a struggling single mom trying to support her young son, Daniel. She claims she got her voluptuous figure during her pregnancy.
So your son is responsible for this figure I'm looking at?
Must have been, yes, sir.
Some of it you've had a little help.
Some of it I have had a little help, but we won't need to get in that, will we?
The Texas tycoon was so dazzled by the dancer with that incredible figure that he decided to show her some impressive numbers of his own, his bank account.
He took me to Neiman Marcus, he dressed me up, he bought me diamonds, he bought me my first car ever. God, he was just amazing.
In addition to the gifts, J. Howard Marshall also gave her a new life, one that did not require dancing in strip clubs.
He was how old when you started dating him?
I believe he was 86.
Didn't that feel weird?
You know, to tell you the truth, the first time it felt a little bit embarrassing, but because of all the love he showed me and respect he gave me, I had pride walking with him. I didn't care what nobody thought.
They just couldn't get over the fact that there was just this tremendous age difference.
He took me out of a terrible place, and he cares for me and my son. And in return, I took care of him. And I loved him for that, and I would never, ever leave him.
He went to Yale. She was a high school dropout.
He used to tell me that he loved how street smart I was.
Under J. Howard Marshall's wing, her modeling career began to soar. She was billed as the new Marilyn Monroe, and she very quickly became Playboy's Playmate of the Year. It was 4 years after meeting J. Howard Marshall, after becoming a world-famous model, that she married the Texas tycoon. That's when jaws really dropped. Nicole was called many things. The nicest was world-class gold digger.
I'm not a gold digger. I could have married him a week after we met. I didn't. I went out and I made something of myself. And people don't appreciate that. They don't understand that.
People wondered how real was their marriage. As a supermodel, she was often away. They spoke by phone every night at 7, his bedtime.
Just said he loved me, he missed me. I love you. I love you too, honey. I miss you. Even if he was needing me for safe sex.
With phone sex?
Sure. Yeah. I am to please. No, he was my sweetie. He was my everything.
First, I love you, J. Howard Marshall, my husband. I love you.
Party girl.
I just want to say that. I want to say that.
Wait a minute, where's
and I
the
hope
ring?
you're watching. It's right here.
Oh, wow.
And I just want you to know that because I told you to watch TV tonight, and I love you.
After 14 months of marriage, J. Howard Marshall died at the age of 90. Anna Nicole was not even mentioned in his will. She says a wife should get half, but her 61-year-old stepson doesn't want her to get a dime.
He had something she wanted, and she took it, and she was satisfied with it only as long as he was alive. And when he died, she wanted more.
Once we're married, you know, half of everything is mine. And that was his promise to me.
This morning, we continue our exclusive interview with celebrity model Anna Nicole Smith. She gained notoriety when she married an oil billionaire more than 60 years her senior. He died 14 months later. She's been battling ever since for a share of what she says is his $1.6 billion estate. This week, more than 50 lawyers in 3 states are working around the clock gearing up for the biggest estate fight since Howard Hughes. But she may have an unlikely ally. ABC's Mike Von Fremd reports.
Our top story tonight, Anna Nicole Smith.
Her life has been a lead story, from tabloids to television. And in a courtroom in Texas, Anna Nicole Smith is about to enter the eye of the storm one more time. She is fighting with a stepson who's almost 30 years older than her, seeking half of the estate of her dead husband.
J. Howard Marshall.
Oil tycoon J. Howard Marshall was 89 when he married Anna Nicole in 1994. He died 14 months later. Pierce Marshall, the tycoon's younger son, says that Anna Nicole does not deserve an extra penny. After all, his lawyers claim during the marriage she received gifts worth more than $8 million.
He was supporting her in 3 different houses. He'd given her 3 different houses. He'd given her cars. He'd given her a company. He'd given her incredible things that were intended to help her get ahead and survive and make money.
The battle is so bitter they can't even agree on how much the estate is worth. It's mostly stock of a privately held company. The stepson, Pierce, says it could be worth as little as $40 million. Anna Nicole's side says it could be more than $1 billion. However much it is, Anna Nicole Smith says her husband promised her half, even though she was not mentioned in the will.
You're absolutely positive that he wanted you to have half?
Yes, my husband wanted me to have half. I'm absolutely positive.
Now, what we're going to ask the jury to do is simply speak for Mr. Marshall. And he told her, once we get married, you'll have half of everything I have.
She has absolutely no witnesses to it. She'll never be able to produce them, and she didn't even start contending that to 2 to 3 years after he died.
But at the time of the marriage, J. Howard Marshall did nothing to protect his assets from a bride 62 years his junior.
And there was no prenuptial agreement?
Absolutely not.
You know, in a lot of marriages, when the husband dies, the wife gets everything.
I didn't even get widow's allowance.
In court, Pierce Marshall's side is predicting some bombshells. His lawyers say they will not be shy about dredging through Anna Nicole's past, such as who she slept with during the marriage.
I will just simply say that she really didn't always lead the life during that marriage that J. Howard Marshall would have hoped she did.
How are you going to answer that?
I'm just gonna say that's between me and my husband. It's nobody's business. Our bedroom life was our business and nobody else's.
But here's the twist. There's another stepson who's on Anna Nicole's side. Her late husband's oldest son, J. Howard Jr., and his team of lawyers support Anna Nicole's claim that she be included in the will.
Howard Sr. said to Howard Jr., when I'm gone, I want to make sure that Anna Nicole's taken care of. She's the love of my life.
Howard Jr. is also contesting the will. He, too, was cut off after a nasty family squabble 20 years ago. If younger brother Pierce prevails, he will take home nearly all of the family fortune.
He didn't want to share 1 cent of the money with anyone.
There was no conscious attempt to line things up in a way that she not be left anything.
Anna Nicole says her husband's death sent her life out of control.
It's hard. I mean, I went through a lot. You know, people you know, when I gained a lot of weight, people thought I was just partying, doing this and that. I mean, I'm having seizures, I'm having panic attacks, and my husband just died, and people think I don't care. I mean, I couldn't even go out of my house for years.
She even ended up at the Betty Ford Clinic.
I was on prescription pain medication, and I was taking too much, and I went into a coma for that.
There were some reports that you had suffered brain damage from that coma.
Well, what happened was when I came out of the coma, I couldn't talk and I couldn't walk. So things like were coming back slowly. It was scary.
Straight up, Anna?
Anna Nicole recently has had a comeback of sorts. She works as a model for Lane Bryant, but she says she tries to spend most of her time with her 14-year-old son, Daniel.
Come on, Pumpkin.
Anna Nicole knows he and all of Texas will be watching daily coverage of a family battle for an unimaginable fortune.
You're ready for this court fight, huh?
I'm ready to go kick some butt.
Well, I'm delighted she feels that way, and I will enjoy being there, watch her doing it, but I'm not sure whose butt she means.
If you win that $800 million, what's the first thing you and your son are going to do?
Go to church and sit on my knees for about until they turn bruisey and bloody and thank the good Lord and my husband. God bless him.